welcome to another episode of A Drummer's Guide to. So today's question is from the brilliant Robert DiMaio. So he is an awesome guitarist, singer, songwriter that I happen to have the pleasure of working with in my studio, emilydrums.com, and I'll put some links in the description of where you can find him and his music. He is like the coolest dude. We met each other properly at NAMM in LA in 2020 in January, and he was even cooler in person. Like, you know, when you just meet someone like, you're just like the coolest guy. Yeah, he was really nice. Anyway, he is asking me today about feel and how to build feel into your playing. Sorry, I'm laughing because should I tell? Okay, I'm going to tell this story. This is such a ridiculous tangent, but I don't care. Ages ago, I was on this drum course called Ultimate Drum Experience. It was run by MikeDolberg.com. So on one of the days, we had the wonderful Clem Catini come in, who is this brilliant drummer from the UK, right? Now, Clem, he's from Enfield, firstly, so whoop, 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 Enfield. But he has just one of the most brilliant feels I've ever heard in my life. And he sort of did some playing and opened up the room to questions. So I put up my hand and I said, Clem, how did you develop your feel? But because of the way that I say feel, he thought I said fill. So instead of feel, he thought I meant fill. And what he thought I meant was there was a really famous track that he played on. Oh, and I can't remember the name of it. And I should look it up and cut this and then come back to it. But I'm not going to. It may come to me. Anyway, there was this amazing song that he played on. And there is this iconic fill in it. So he started talking about this fill. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot. He thinks I said fill and I said feel, which as I say it even sounds the same. But anyway, and anyway, that's why I laugh. Whenever I say feel, I think that people think I'm saying Phil, which also is my dad's name. Anyway, let's get on to this. So, Robert is asking me how to build your feel into your playing. Now, feel and groove and all that sort of stuff has been my life's obsession, especially when it comes to drums. It has been since I was a kid. It still is now, to be honest. I'm constantly trying to develop my feel in the best ways that I can. And I think I became truly obsessed. How old was I? Probably when I was around about 18, 19. I just was like, right, I know that there's certain drummers, when I listen to them, I'm like, oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard in my life. It gets me. It hits me in the heart, in the stomach, in the face, everywhere. And I'm just like floored. But my playing, whenever I heard myself, I would be like, that doesn't make me feel like that. And why? Why is that? Why is it some people have nicer feels and other people don't? I wanted to find out. So I became obsessed. I'm still a little bit obsessed. But this is how I developed my feel. This is how I built my feel into my playing, as Robert is asking. So the first thing that I did was I listed all of the drummers that I just adored their feel. So it's people like James Gadson, Al Jackson Jr., Earl Palmer, Steve Jordan, Steve Gadd, obviously John Bonham, all these guys, and Jim Gordon. There's so many. There's so many. Ian Thomas, Ralph Salmons, Jeremy Stacey. There's so many. There's so many drummers that I just like their feel. Floors me, it gets me. I'm like, this is just, it feels like someone's strangling me. It's so brilliant. That probably sounded really weird. Anyway, what I then did was I researched. It's going to make me sound crazy. I researched every song that they'd ever recorded on places like allmusic.com and discogs.com, as in discography, discogs.com. and I created playlists for each of those players with every song that I could physically find that they've played on. And then I would passively listen to everything, just, not just as I was sort of like around the house and whatever else. Driving, all the good stuff. And I just would listen because I figured that osmosis would take over and I would just like take on this feel and understand it better, which I think to a degree I did. But the big difference was I then chose, or it came rather, when I decided to choose my favourite songs that really just were just unbelievable. I've just thought of another, Bernard Purdie. The reason that I'm thinking of that, things like Babylon Sisters, Steely Dan, or Kid Charlemagne, also Bernard Purdie. Incredible. Just let's talk about others. Holy Thursday by David Axelrod. Amazing. Thank you, Mark Neary, for introducing me to that. Unbelievable. Al Green, the Call Me album, all these songs or albums that just, I was like, this is just unreal. And I would take those tracks and I would record myself and I would listen back. Now, at the time, I did not have like a studio, nothing like that. This was literally a dictaphone. I would hit record, I would play along to the tracks, and then I would listen back and I would listen back and just see how locked in I was with that drummer, and therefore the other musicians. Now, when I started, I was not locked in. Oh, it was awful. It was like this lovely, warm, amazing drummer playing with these musicians, creating this incredible thing, and then this stiff board that was playing in the same room as them, just ruining everything. So that's kind of how it all started. But the more that I did it, the more I sort of understood, or sometimes I wouldn't even understand, but I would just play more, and by default, I'd get slightly closer to the feel that I was trying to get. And yeah, like I say, the more I did it, the better I got. And then the more I started to notice what made a great feel, because it's not just one thing, and it's not just a drummer's job, if you like. I then took it one step further, and then I would, when I was playing live, because I've been playing live for a long time, I'd be out, especially in those early days, playing a lot of covers gigs, which meant like 2 or 3 gigs a week in pubs, and I would take a little dictaphone there as well, or a little USB mic or whatever it was, depending on when it was, and I would record our gigs so I could make sure that this feel thing was translating live. And sometimes it was and sometimes it wasn't, and I tried to sort of understand why that was. I tried to improve it, because what I realised was, when it comes to developing your feel and building your feel, it's not something that's mutually exclusive to you. Because there are other people involved, it's not just about you having a great feel by yourself. That's all good and well, but at the end of the day, you're playing with other musicians, you'd hope. Well, I'd hope, because that's why I play the drums. I love music, I love songs. I'm not a solo player. I'm just not that person. There are many people like it that are brilliant at it. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't enjoy it. But the point is that it became about locking in with those players and creating a cohesive feel between however many of us there were on a stage for an audience. So that was kind of the journey that I took, because, I could be sitting here, Steve Jordan, but if I'm not locked in with the people that are playing around me, it ain't going to sound good. It might sound alright, but it ain't going to sound good, and it ain't going to sound groovy and feel, and it's not going to make you feel like that. It's just going to make you feel like, there's something not quite right. And most people don't know what it is, but they just know that it's like, something's grating and I don't know what it is. Whereas if you're all moving as one, that's a beautiful thing. And if you can find players where you all have similar kind of backgrounds and feels, that is something to be reckoned with. It really is. It's pretty unbelievable. So don't ever think that it's just down to you. If you can work out a way to lock in with everyone that you're playing with, that is probably half the battle when it comes to feel. And just, you can add to it, but you are not a singular person. No groove is an island. I thought of that earlier, and I thought I must say that because it sounds silly, and I like silly. No groove is an island. It does involve other people. So if you can learn to kind of lock in with other people, then you'll have a good groove going. But if you want to develop your own groove, just get your favourite players, play along to them and see how you match up to them. And I'm not saying imitate them, I'm not saying be exactly like them, but I am saying be influenced by the things that give you life. I know that I certainly am, and I just want to do more of that, basically. So yeah, anyway, Robert, I hope that's helped you in some way. I hope I've answered your question in some way, and I look forward to us recording more tracks together. Yay! Anyway, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna leave you. I'll be back next week with another subject. If you have any questions yourself, then please feel free to leave them in the comments section, and yeah, I will see you soon. All right, lots of love, you guys. See you later. Mwah. Bye.